Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions Publishing, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission is Mr. Michael Neese. Welcome, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Laura. I'm excited about this project.
You guys, Michael is leading one of our expert collaborative book projects, and this one is called Our Future is Kind, the Ultimate Guide to Making a Difference. And I'm excited for so many reasons about this project. I want to tell you a little bit about Michael first, and then we're going to get into his why a little bit. Michael Neese is a futurist, keynote speaker, and Amazon bestselling author who believes kindness is essential to building the future we want to live in. With leadership experience spanning corporate teams and planetariums, he has delivered hundreds of presentations exploring kindness through a cosmic lens. So, thank you for partnering with me to lead this beautiful project. I'm honored to be guiding this with you. Tell us a little bit of the why behind the man and the project.
Laura, I am a firm believer that we are all building the future, whether we know it or not. Whether we're really thinking our way through it or we are just kind of stumbling our way through, just trying to do all the things. And I think it's really essential that we build the future in a deliberate, mindful, kind way. And so this project, the whole reason for doing it is to get a lot of voices where people are telling us how they've done it or how they can see it being done better. The idea that we can, focus more on children, we can focus more on the workplace, we can focus more on interpersonal relationships or listening or other kind acts that will help us pave the way for giving a great inheritance to future generations. But if we're not really focused on building that kinder future, then it all falls apart and we're just beholden to random forces or the forces that be. And I don't want to see that happen. So that's the intention behind this project.
And who do you see stepping up in these different lanes to write chapters? Who are you after to help lead this topic in the world?
I'm excited about people who have had a journey where they've seen something broken and they've helped fix it. So, for instance, somebody who is doing volunteerism out in the world and trying to make sure that the most vulnerable populations are getting what they need. Also, those who are trying to help children, children who are navigating a very difficult foster situation where they are trying to find, the right family situation. People who are trying to reach across to people who see them as enemies and are trying to be heard and make sure that they hear as well. It's those sorts of people that I want engaged in this project because I mean, think about the news these days. It can get kind of scary that it feels like some things are broken. And the more perspectives we bring in where people have bridged gaps, have helped vulnerable populations, those are my people. Those are the ones that I want in on this project.
So, if you're listening and you're one of those people making change, you're making a difference, you're helping other people make a difference, right? We want to talk to you about this collaboration. And I want to add my why in here. When I started gathering my community together and making that invitation, hey, let's do this together. Let's put all the unique voices together. We need all of the stories. And let's also put together all of your master teachings. We craft these beautiful books that end up being really, that's why I love the ultimate guide too, because they are ultimate toolkits, ultimate guides with those collaborative voices and master teachings together. Like, wouldn't you have loved to have all those coaches on your side when you were learning about a topic or whatever it is? And the energy of these collaborations is way bigger than me, that's for sure. It's actually way bigger than even me and Michael, and that's pretty big energy to begin with. We get everyone together, and it's just expands and ripples out in such an incredible, bigger way. This is legacy work that we're doing with these particular kinds of books. So that's a little bit of the why behind me and what I've been up to. Michael, what do you think is this thing you want to teach the world with this book? How would you sum that up?
A couple of ways. First, the future is something that we can have an effect on, right? We are told day in and day out that there are too many problems, they're too big, and we don't have any way of really making big changes. So just give up and focus on doing all of your daily things. And I want people to know that is baloney. You can have an effect on the world around you. You know, there's this great African proverb that says, if you think that you're not big enough to make a difference, you've never spent a night alone in a room with a mosquito. And it's that idea that we all, as tiny as you might see yourself, you have great power. And so that's one big message that I want here. And the other is we can't hit a target if we don't establish what the target is, right? If you're just randomly shooting, you never hit anything. But if you say, here's what the future should look like, now how do we get there? I think most of us just don't think about what should the future be. We just say, oh, Apple will tell us and Google will tell us and these great big names that are in society, oh, they'll tell us what the future is. No, 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 no. We get to have a vote. And everybody who's listening in who wants to, either enjoy the book or have a part in producing this, yeah, we need your voice. We need to hear what your vision of the future is as well.
All right, you guys. So if you're starting to lean in a little bit, getting interested in what your contribution might be, I want to share with you a little bit about what happens. You're coming in to write a chapter, to be a contributing co-author to the book under Michael's leadership. This is so much more than a book project, though. But I want you to know a little bit about that chapter. You're sharing a real story to help the reader get to know, love, and trust you. And then you're going to step up in the second part of the chapter with your master teachings. And we know all of you have a lot to share and a lot to teach. And then, of course, we have your bio in the book. And one of my missions is to really help the business behind our authors and to support you in thriving, right, with that business. So these have, it was really a couple of missions with these beautiful books. We want to help the world experience what's possible. And in this case, what's possible when with kindness. But there's so much to these projects. So when we go back to that theme of kindness, and when you think about it, maybe in your own life, Michael, what's the most important thing you want people to know about that?
Kindness can be your compass. It can be your superpower. It can guide you in the right direction, and you can pull that superpower out at any time. So you can be in the depths of despair. You can be really angry in a certain moment. And if you know how to pause, take a moment, and reframe the situation as one where you can have a very positive effect and a very positive outcome, you can then act out of kindness rather than out of a knee-jerk emotional response. And that can have a beautiful effect on your day, but also on the day of everybody who's around you, who's in the wake of your actions.
Yeah, that's huge. That's a life-changing awareness right there, you guys. Golden nugget, right? Okay, so Brave Healer Productions Publishing is celebrating over 100 Amazon best-selling titles. We were awarded our 17th book award just this past month for a beautiful collaboration that we published. And we want you to know that we're not messing around over here. We want to support you to get your brave words in the world in a much bigger way. And we love that you want to do that with us, and that we are grabbing hands with people like Michael and all of our co-authors to do these big things in the world. This is big potato stuff to us over here, and books are legacy work. So yours is ours, which means yours matters to us. And it's just, like I said before, really big energy. Is there anything else you want to say to prospective co-authors if they're interested?
I was a co-author on another large project. It was Joy Unleashed, and it was led
Yay.
by Sherry Elise. And boy, that became an international #1 bestseller on Amazon. And it helped reframe how I think about my business and made it possible for me to be a bit more visible. And so that was one of the reasons that I wanted to engage in this book project, in this enormous effort to change the world with kindness, was that I've seen it. I've lived the effects of having been a co-author on this kind of book.
Yes, there it is over my shoulder over there on the shelf. I see yours too up above. That's awesome. Shout out to Sherry Elise. You're awesome. And that was an amazing project. Um, all right, Michael. Thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share. I want people to know that this Brave Healer community is a generous, safe space for our listeners. And it's also a place to find opportunities to shout out who you are and what you're up to in the world in a much bigger way. So if this topic resonates with you today and you think you have a perfect contribution to Our Future is Kind, the ultimate guide to making a difference, then connect with me or Michael. We've got the information down below for you to connect, and we'll have a chat. We'll see if you're a perfect fit for this project. We know you're ready to become a published author in one of our best-selling expert book collaborations, and we can't wait to talk to you about helping you leave your legacy. So lastly, everyone, remember your words change the world when you're big and brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.